Le Mans cars?
This is the car that crossed the finish line after traveling the greatest distance.
I didn't know, but I see the McLaren and New Zealand markings. Was that from a later iteration of the car?
No, this is how it raced in 1966.
It did.
Yeah. So each of the cars was managed by its own little crew.
Okay.
And Bruce's crew was very proud of Bruce. And Chris Amon was a co-driver. He was also from New Zealand. So it's just sort of as a as a bonding thing, a brothership thing. They painted the New Zealand fern and put Bruce's sticker on there. Yeah.
What? Who drove this car then?
Bruce McLaren and Chris Amon.
Oh, it was Bruce McLaren, right? And did McLaren cross the finish line, or was he on the sidelines?
McLaren was driving the car at the end of the race. Yeah.
Because in those days they only had 2 drivers per car. Now they have 3, right? So.
Yeah, 3, 4. I don't know how many.
Pretty unique piece of history.
So no need for a speedometer because the only speed is fast, basically.
Yeah, they managed everything by RPM. So if you look on the forward end of the sill, right here, this is this is a real versus tach. So there's a little bit of variation in the tach. So this tells them what the actual engine speed was running when the tach is displaying a certain thing. So they regulated everything by engine RPM. They said, okay, on the Mulsanne straight, we don't want you to go over 6,800.
Okay.
And that they knew approximately how fast the cars were going, but it was easier for the drivers to regulate because the tachometer is right smack in front of you, rather than having to look over here where the speedometer was. You just looked at the tach.
Yeah, and it's a 24-hour race, so the important part is to not blow up the car.
Exactly. Yeah, they had certain times where they
overheat your brakes.
So, for example, once the last Ferrari had broken and wasn't running anymore, they brought everybody back, and that's where the controversial finish came from. So Ford himself passed down team orders through Leo Beebe and then through Carroll Shelby and Alan Mann and the guys running the individual teams, saying, all right, back everybody down, get them down to a certain time, don't have them not go over 6,500 on the straights, take it easy on the cars.
So their lead was so great that they didn't really have to worry about
it. Was the only cars that were in contention at that point were the Fords. The last Ferrari that could have challenged them for the race had broken
DNF
and was done. And they were already having trouble. A number of cars, I'm not sure exactly what hour, but by the early morning hours, they had lost a couple of cars already. Dan Gurney's car had a head gasket problem and was losing coolant, so they knew that car wasn't going to make the finish, certainly not in contention, and it ended up retiring about an hour 19 with total failure. So at that point, Ford was like, I want the win. I mean, he'd spent millions of dollars on this project. So yeah, that's where the team order came down. Back everybody off, have everybody slow down. Fortunately, either Ken Miles didn't get the word or just decided he wasn't listening, so he kept going. This car was actually in the lead when that order came down, and Ken passed it. And that's when they pulled him from the car. There's a documentary scene, a copy of it, and it's from Ford to all the team managers saying, these are Ford's cars. If any driver fails to adhere to team orders, wake the backup driver, pull the car in, pull the driver from the car. And that's what they did. Now, in Ken's case, Carroll was actually, was able to talk some sense in him and be like, look, take a break, get some sleep. Remember, these are Ford's cars, they want the win. You gotta play by the rules. So from that point on, the running order was fixed. Ken Miles' car was in the lead, this was in second, and the third car was gold number 5. I forget which team was running that car and which drivers were driving it, but that car was several laps back. And then you get towards the last couple hours, and that's when Leo Beebe thought it would be great to have that photo finish with the 3 cars close together. So they started to ask Ken Miles. So
that was Leo Beebe. I thought it would have been Ford being the way he was, right?
It could be. I've heard it was Leo Beebe.
No, I mean, you're probably right. I don't know.
Because Leo Beebe was a competition manager. Right? Or what, I don't know what his official title was, but that's what he was there for. He was there to manage the entire project. So Ford was paying, he was writing the checks. Leo Beebe was running all the teams, and then Carroll Shelby, Alan Mann, and Holman Moody were the ones that were building the cars and taking care of them.
And they built them out here in California somewhere.
They did, yeah. They brought all of the cars to Long Beach. All the final assembly was done in Long Beach at Carroll Shelby's place. So great pictures of them on the airports, just Boeing 707s with the cargo door open as they're unloading Cobras and getting ready. there's a funny picture. They did a bunch of promo pictures, and the silver car, which is serial number XGT2, which was Graham Hill's car for the race. They'd painted a great big Mercedes star on the nose of the car before it shipped over to France. Just gas.
Somebody
yeah.
off.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Boy,
thank
what
you.
a dream team of drivers too.
Yeah.